Welcome to our last segment here on ETBU Extra Day. ETBU Extra, broadcasting live from the first floor of the Ornelas Student Center. As we look across the first floor, a lot of students eating lunch, students studying, some visiting. Of course, on Wednesdays, Marshall brings food. It looks like they brought it from one of the chicken places in town. I'm not going to mention who it was because they're not one of our corporate sponsors, so I'm not going to mention where it came from today. But students having fun here on the campus of East Texas Baptist University. Our guest now is Connor Mason. Connor is a member of the men's tennis team here at East Texas Baptist University. He's from Saginaw, Texas. And Connor, the first question I want to ask you, you're a sophomore. What brought you to ETBU tennis? What brought you to ETBU to play tennis for the Tigers is what I wanted to say.
Well, I actually heard of East Texas Baptist University at a college showcase that I was at down at John Newcomb's Tennis Ranch in New Braunfels, and that's where I met Coach Bramlett. I emailed him a few times, and then I scheduled up a visit, and when I came up, I just instantly fell in love with the school. It's a very homey atmosphere, I would say. We were getting those fresh new Centennial Hall dorm rooms for freshmen, brand new tennis courts. I just loved Coach Bramlett, and I loved his picture that he had to build a successful tennis team here. And when I came here, I just instantly knew that this is where I needed to be, and I committed, and it's been one of the best decisions of my life.
When did you start playing tennis?
I started playing tennis my 8th grade year. I picked it up in middle school, and I fell in love with it, and I tried to do tennis and baseball growing up, but then my sophomore year of high school, I decided to drop baseball. And I really just focused on tennis, and it led me here, and I'm so thankful for it.
Who's kind of like an inspiration that has been encouraged you to continue to play tennis?
My family. They really just told me to do what made me happy, and they really just told me to follow my heart and my passion, which at the time I thought was baseball, but then as I grew up and I got more involved in the sport of tennis, I realized that that's what it was, and they were huge with helping me build my game and helping me build my desire to play.
Visiting with Connor Mason, a member of the ETBU Tiger tennis team. Got matches coming up this weekend and sitting there in Dallas Baptist. Of course, my question is, you probably love playing on our courts here because they're very nice down there at the corner of Van Zandt and Tiger Drive. Mm-hmm. Tell me what it's like to be on those courts to play.
Oh, it's so awesome because people will actually just walk down and watch us practice because they're right there. So they see us, and then they'll just walk and they'll just watch us practice, and they'll visit with us. And it's so much nicer than having them at Marshall High School, where we wouldn't really be like in their thoughts. They wouldn't want to go drive all the way out to the high school to watch us play or to practice. So having them on courts, just seeing different people all the time, always on our tennis courts watching us play, and then having the convenience of having them on the campus where we can just go play tennis anytime we want is really just a blessing for all of us here. And we love having those courts. They're brand new. They're very nice tennis courts, and we're doing a really good job at preserving them.
Now, I don't know if this next question is going to be fair, Connor, but there's 8 courts over there. Do you have a favorite yet? Is there one you like to play on all the time?
Court 4.
Court 4?
Court 4. Not the dungeon courts, which is what I call the 2 on the other side of the street that have no lights. I don't like to play on those. But Court 4, that's where the guys' team tends to do most of our practicing at, and so that's the one that I really prefer.
Okay. Good question and a good answer. Thank you, Connor. Well, what's your hopes this year for Tiger tennis?
For the boys, girls, or
for
just
the boys,
all of
for
them?
your side,
boys,
the team you're playing for.
I really think that we have a chance, not just to finish second in the East that we're projected to, but really to make a run and go all the way to the conference finals. I really think so. We had a really good showing against Hardin-Simmons. We lost, 3 really close matches and 3 set tiebreakers, and that's the team that's projected to win the West. And we really took it to them, and that just really showed us that we have the capability not only to just finish second in the East, but to really just make a run into the tournament and get all the way to the finals to face probably UT Tyler.
Now, tell me how difficult it is to play 2 matches in one day.
It's incredibly difficult because you play one. We're all waking up early, so we're all still groggy just from sleep. And then we have to wake up to play a whole match, and then you get done with your first 2, and then you sit for like an hour, and you have to eat lunch, and then you have to rest. But even after you're done playing, there's still other people on the courts playing their matches, and so you sit out in the sun, and that just drains the energy from you too. So by the time that you get to the second match, you've already been outside for 4+ hours, to then you have to redo it all over again. And it's just incredibly hard, but it'll keep us in shape as we get later on in the season where it won't be as hard. But playing 2 matches in one day will drain the energy out of you, especially with the competition that we had on Saturday.
It's like playing better in the day or at night because the lights at ETBU, the courts are just, the illumination there is just top notch.
Yes.
So which one you like? Day games, day matches, or night matches?
I prefer night matches. I love playing under the lights. It's a great feeling to know that you can just play all night if you wanted to. It's harder if you've already played in the morning and throughout the day. But if I had to pick, if I was just playing one match, I'd definitely play at nighttime.
So you're looking forward to the match on Friday night against Centenary because it's an evening match.
Yes, sir. We are very excited for Centenary. After Saturday, we're all hungry to get back out on the court to get that first win for the season. I think Centenary is going to be a pretty tough match for us. I don't really know a lot of people that they have, so we're really gearing up for it, and we're all excited to go out there and play.
As you were playing tennis in high school, did you have a dream of playing collegiate tennis? In other words, you're an NCAA Division III student athlete. Was that part of your goal?
Yes. I wanted to play college tennis my junior year of high school is when I really started wanting to play, and I really started training to play college tennis because I realized that I just loved the competition. I loved the sport too much to just stop after my senior year. So I figured I needed to play college tennis to keep that alive.
Well, Connor, thank you for being our guest today here at ETBU
Thank you very
Extra.
much for having me.
And since I've met you here for the first time, I'm going to be watching your scores and see how you do the rest of the
Yes, sir.
season.
Thank you very much.
All right. Connor Mason's been our guest here on ETBU Extra. Remember the ETBU Tigers men's tennis team. Tiger Tennis has home matches this weekend. Friday night against Centenary and then on Saturday against Dallas Baptist. Well, that's going to wrap up our show today here from the first floor of the Ornella Student Center. Hey, don't forget, ETBU baseball and ETBU softball open the season this Friday. Baseball team's going to be jumping on a plane and flying to California to play Chapman University. Lady Tigers are at home, 5 p.m. first pitch against Pacific Lutheran. And understand ETBU President Dr. Blair Blackburn and his wife will be throwing out the first pitch at that ball game on Friday. So, of course, keep up with Tiger sports right here at goetbbutigers.com. Thank you for Adam Ledyard, our Sports Information Director, and for Kenneth and Matthew for being a big help today. Without them, this show would not be possible, and thank you for clicking in. Maybe Dr. Joe Brown over in the Education Department's listening. He told me at the basketball game Saturday that he listens a lot during when he eats lunch in his office, and if he's listening today, we thank you for listening to ETB Extra, and thank you for you as well. We'll see you next Wednesday as we continue to talk Tiger athletics on another edition of ETB Extra.